The baseline killer, a term that evokes dread and intrigue, refers to the moniker given to a serial killer who terrorized the Phoenix, Arizona area in the mid-2000s. This case not only highlights the complexities of criminal profiling and law enforcement techniques, but also underscores the societal impact of violent crime. In this blog, we will explore the background of the baseline killer, the investigation that ensued, the psychological implications, and the broader societal conversations that emerged from this tragic chapter in American crime history. The background of the baseline killer. The baseline killer's reign of terror began in 2005 and continued into 2006. The name originates from Baseline Road, a major thoroughfare in Phoenix where many of the crimes occurred. This killer was responsible for at least 9 confirmed murders and several assaults, primarily targeting women. The victims were often lured into isolated areas, creating a chilling pattern that both frightened and baffled the community and law enforcement. The age range of the victims varied, with some being as young as 15 and others in their late 40s. This randomness in victim selection heightened fears, as no one felt safe, regardless of their background. The brutal nature of the crimes, marked by sexual assault and extreme violence, fueled media sensationalism and community panic. The investigation, a cat-and-mouse game. The investigation into the baseline killer was complex, involving multiple law enforcement agencies. The Phoenix Police Department worked closely with the FBI and other regional police units to track down the elusive murderer. Initially, investigators relied heavily on forensic evidence, including DNA from the crime scenes, but for months, leads were scarce. As the case unfolded, several factors complicated the investigation. Victimology. Understanding the demographics of the victims was crucial. Many were vulnerable women, some engaged in sex work or living transient lifestyles. This raised questions about societal responsibility and the inherent vulnerabilities of marginalized communities. Public fear. The community's fear was palpable, leading to increased vigilance among residents. Neighborhood watch programs sprang up, and public forums were held to discuss safety strategies. However, fear can also lead to stigma, especially against certain groups, which was a concern in this case. Media attention. The media played a dual role, bringing attention to the case while simultaneously creating sensational narratives that sometimes clouded the facts. This led to misinformation and the potential for public hysteria. The breakthrough. After months of investigation, a significant breakthrough occurred in 2006. Police received a tip from a witness who had seen a man fitting the description of the suspect near the crime scenes. This led them to focus on a suspect, 23-year-old Samuel A. Rangel, who was eventually linked to the murders through DNA evidence collected at the crime scenes. Rangel was arrested in June 2006, and as the investigation progressed, it was revealed that he had a history of criminal behavior, including prior convictions for violent offenses. The chilling reality of his life, marked by instability and violence, began to paint a picture of the man behind the baseline killer moniker. Psychological profile, understanding the mind of a serial killer. To grasp the full impact of the baseline killer case, it is essential to delve into the psychological aspects of Rangel's behavior. Serial killers often exhibit certain psychological traits, including lack of empathy. Many serial killers have a diminished capacity for empathy, allowing them to commit heinous acts without remorse. Rangel's actions demonstrated a chilling disregard for human life. Manipulation and control. Serial killers often seek power and control over their victims. The methodical nature of Rangel's attacks suggests a desire to dominate and exert power over vulnerable individuals. Childhood trauma. Research has shown that many serial killers experience significant trauma in their early years, which can manifest in violent behavior. Rangel's background included a turbulent childhood, with reports of abuse and neglect, highlighting the complex interplay between environment and behavior. Compulsion and fantasy. For many serial killers, the act of killing is intertwined with compulsive fantasies. This can create a cycle where the killer feels driven to act out these fantasies in increasingly violent ways. The aftermath. The trial of Samuel Rangel began in 2008, drawing significant media attention. Rangel faced multiple charges, including first-degree murder, sexual assault, and kidnapping. During the trial, evidence presented included forensic data, witness testimonies, and Rangel's own statements. Ultimately, in 2009, Rangel was convicted and sentenced to multiple life terms in prison without the possibility of parole. His case served as a grim reminder of the potential for violence that exists within society, as well as the importance of vigilant law enforcement and community engagement. Societal impact and conversations. The Baseline Killer case sparked several important conversations within society. 1. Victim advocacy. The narrative surrounding victims often centers on their backgrounds and lifestyles, sometimes leading to victim blaming. The Baseline Killer case brought to light the need for a more empathetic approach to victims, regardless of their circumstances. 2.3 Law enforcement strategies. The investigation underscored the importance of collaboration among law enforcement agencies. The ability to share information and resources can significantly enhance investigative efforts in serial crime cases. 5th, public awareness and education. The fear generated by the Baseline Killer prompted discussions about personal safety, especially for vulnerable populations. Awareness campaigns focused on self-defense, community vigilance, and the importance of reporting suspicious behavior. Mental health. The case highlighted the need for a deeper understanding of mental health issues and the societal factors contributing to violent behavior. Discussions about early intervention and support systems became increasingly relevant in the wake of the crimes. 8. A cautionary tale. The Baseline Killer case remains one of the most haunting examples of serial violence in recent American history. It serves as a reminder of the fragility of safety and the complex factors that contribute to violent crime. As communities continue to grapple with the realities of crime and justice, the lessons learned from the Baseline Killer investigation remain vital. In reflecting on this tragic case, it is essential to honor the victims and recognize the broader societal implications of such violence. Only through understanding and compassion can we hope to build safer communities and prevent similar tragedies in the future. The legacy of the Baseline Killer should not just be one of fear, but rather a call to action for awareness, advocacy, and systemic change.